You guys, who was gonna tell me my doggone my mic was muted? Okay, somebody like next time that happens, or if it happens again, light up the chat. Say something to your girl. Hold on, let me see. I was just talking, and there was no sound coming out. Saraya, hi girl. You thought your laptop was muted? Wait, did you not hear the music? Jeez. Okay. So, let me back a little bit. Let me backtrack because I said a mouthful and y'all didn't hear it. Thank you for joining me for the first stream of the year and for the launch of my 90-day MVP series. And in this series, we are going to be entrepreneurs and startup founders and go from idea to a fully functioning MVP. Well, it's an MVP. So when it's an MVP and it's fully functioning, I mean, it's really just going to do the job at least, and in 90 days, because the biggest thing where MVPs are concerned, and folks who don't know what MVP is, it is a minimum viable product. And that means, just to kind of give a background of the process, you find a problem that you want to solve. And in order to start gathering feedback from your users, you create something very quick and ship it and start putting it in your user's hands, so that way you can start getting feedback and start iterating on that product and making it better. So MVPs are rough, and the biggest thought process is, if you are proud of the first version of your product, then you waited too long to deliver it. So in that spirit, we are going to be quick and dirty. We are going to go through all of the things, and we're gonna make cool things happen, right? If you are about that startup life, then this is the show for you, because we're not making things perfect. We're making things usable, and we're gonna get some early adopters to give us some really great feedback so we can make a great product. And that's the name of the game. Okay. So initially I thought that I would, rewrite my startup C-Tracks, or the product of my startup, as if I was writing it for the first time, right? With some other other decisions that I would make if I had to do it all over again. But after talking through with some co-founders and some other folks that have interest in the product, it's probably not a good idea to do that live. That 100%. Let me check the comments. Hey, it's that lady Dev. What's up, girl? Thanks for shouting me out in the comments, y'all. Y'all are awesome. I appreciate it. But yeah, so what we are going to do, I came up with a new idea, because y'all, if you know me, you know that, at my core, I'm a founder, right? At my core, I'm an entrepreneur, serial entrepreneur, whatever you want to call it. So it's nothing for me to come up with another product idea. And so last night, it came to me in a dream. The product that we are going to build from the ground up is NextConf Pro. And the way I see it is NextConf Pro is going to be an event management system. I love going to events, right? And I hope to, at some point, organize an event. or be a part of the team that organizes an event. So this app that we're going to build, or this product that we're going to build, is going to make that easier. And like I said, this idea came to me last night. So this is very, you guys are seeing it. Like you guys are seeing this whole process happen, right? And so we're gonna talk about like the features that we're going to build, and we're gonna kind of put our file structure together on this first stream, and then as we continue week to week, we'll build more and more, and of course there'll be time between. I'll probably moonlight and build it as well. So our weekly check-ins will be like updates to what I've done so far, and helping make some decisions for how to move forward. But we're gonna have fun doing it, right? I mean, this is what this is all about. This is all about this is low pressure for me because it's not my livelihood at the moment. So I want to have fun with it. I know a lot of folks who will watch and probably are watching are like actually building products to raise capital, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And that's stressful. And kudos to y'all. We're going to go through this process together. You're actually going to ship. I'll ship it, but I'm not quitting my day job. Anyway, so first things first, let's kind of go through the brainstorming and ideation phase. And I'm going to share my screen, and we are going to hop into Miro. So let me go ahead and share my screen. Yes, Miro. Use. Okay. Oh, before we do all of that, let me talk about what I'm going to be doing this month, because I know it's about to be conference season again, and we are getting started. And let's talk about where you can find me, like in the next few weeks. I'm actually going to, you guys know I work for Auth0. I mean, if you want to learn more about Auth0, go ahead and check out developer.auth0.com. And I'm a developer advocate at Auth0, and what I do is I go and I talk to other developers and kind of get product feedback and talk about identity and give presentations and events and things like that. So this month coming up, I'm going to be at ThatConf in Texas, and we are sponsoring a booth there. So if you are going to be at ThatConf, I'll provide more details about our booth and everything at the next week, because I'll probably have a little bit more details to provide. But if you'll be at ThatConf, hit your girl up and say hey, because I'll be there along with a couple of my colleagues. And also on Monday, I will be on the .NET on AWS show with Brandon. And let me see if I can find a link to the .NET on AWS show, because I would love for you all to tune in. I'm probably going to be talking about this. I'll be talking about the 90-day MVP project. I'll also be talking about some other things that I've got coming down the pipeline. But let me see if I can find the .NET on AWS link here so I could throw it in the chat so you guys can catch me on there. I know you guys want to hear the shenanigans, because we will shenan again. Oh, shoot. One sec, guys. Brandon. Here we go. Oh, so I think this is a live stream and it's going to be on Twitch. Okay. So let me find the Twitch account. Oh, this is going to be on the AWS Twitch account. All right, cool. I'm going to put that here. And I'm also going to put it in the chat. So that is going to be on Monday, January 15th. And what time? That is going to be I think it's 10:30 Eastern. But let me double check. If my computer would do what computers are supposed to do, but you know how it goes when you're streaming. Yeah, 10:30 a.m. to so 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern time on Twitch. So catch me there. It's gonna be lit. I'm gonna be chatting with Brandon, and we're going to talk all things .NET. So, and then in March, you guys, your girl is gonna be presenting at VS Live in Las Vegas. So if you want to come pick it with me in Vegas and you want to learn about .NET stuff, definitely join me there. And if you use the code at the bottom here, it's code Tolliver, you can get $500 off of your registration. And before I, well, there's a link there, but let me see if I can put that in the chat as well. I'm gonna get all these banners and stuff like situated, guys. I promise. Oh, Shreya asked, what are you most excited about as you're planning this out? Honestly, I love the process, Shreya. I really do. I'm most excited about number one, it is bringing something to life. You know, it's almost like you get that you feel like a parent almost. You feel like a parent. And then possibly getting people to use it and test it out and give me some feedback. I think that's also like a really good outcome that's going to come from this. And then just flexing the muscle, right? Just flexing the muscle. So here is the .NET on AWS Twitch link. And then let me find the link for VS Live registration so that y'all can have it. That's a great question, Shreya. Thanks for asking it. All right. So oh yeah, okay. So that link turned out to be something different than what I pasted, but either way, go ahead and click it if you want to party event, learn cool things with me in Vegas in March. All right, so another great question. Thanks, Kadesha, for that question. I will be using .NET because that is what I am most comfortable with to build this project. But I'll also be using other tools. Now, of course, I'm going to be using Auth0 for the identity piece of the project. And I know there's going to be a payments portion of this that we're going to be implementing for ticketing, right? And that is going to be done probably with Stripe. And then like we'll have other things that will like other integrations that I'll probably add in, but that's what I can think of off the top of my head. .NET, all of it's going to probably be built in .NET to start with. We may branch off and do some, add some different technologies as we iterate. I haven't decided, but that's kind of what the tech stack is going to be to start with. Thank you. Thank you very, very much. I'm excited to see how it goes. It's a challenge. The first time I built a startup, it took a year to release a product. Okay. And in that year's time, how can I say this? It was a year of time where we could have been doing different things. Like we could have released something really raw, which actually, when I think about it, we did. We released a really, really raw product, but it was kind of too raw, if you ask me. Oh, let me get my banner off. But it was a little bit too raw, if you ask me. And that's where I kind of got from one of my early investors, which happened to be an old boss of mine. He said, if you are proud of your first product you released, too late. But there were some really, really rough parts of that. Specifically, I released a web app, right? And so the point of sale, Citrix is the point of sale. We released a web app version of it, and folks really want to be able to, check out and all these things with like an iPad or some type of tablet. And those two things didn't really, like pulling up a web app on your iPad. I mean, you can, but it's not the best user experience. And also, the biggest thing that the biggest issue that we ran into was peripherals. And that was just like, what was it? Like scanners and receipt printers and things like that were not compatible at all. So it really was a headache. I mean, and so then we kind of went back to the drawing board and rewrote our entire product, and that took about a year. So, so we kind of did both approaches, right? We did our MVP, which is very, 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 very rough, and then took quite some time to release the second product, but or version 2 of the same product. But if I had to do it all over again, I would do it this way, which is the way I'm about to show you now. And that's giving myself a timeline, like, hey, you're going to release something in 90 days. Use that same product and iterate over it over and over and over again until you have something that's like that your users love. So let me share my screen. I've got spam comments, but that is all to the good. Sharing my screen here. All right, so we are looking at Next Pro. And this is going to be an event management platform. And right here, what we're going to do is we're going to figure out what types of features that we want. Okay. And view. You know, I don't want to do all of this, at least not yet, but don't really care about a link. Anybody can view the board. I'll share it. I'll go ahead and share it with folks. No, I don't need an enterprise plan. Let's get rid of this. We're gonna go through what we want as far as like features. We're going to color code said features as MVP features, and like as must-have MVP features, as nice-to-have MVP features, and as probably not going to make the MVP. All right, so let's see. Let's get started. All right, first, because I've got some notes down here. First and foremost, for an event management platform, we're going to need to be able to create events. So we're going to need like an event creation wizard. We'll need to be able to create, like at a very basic level, the event. We need to have our location. We need to be able to, say what date and time it's going to be. And we'll need to be able to like edit that if needed. So that is, we're going to make that, we'll make that purple, because purple is my favorite color, and purple is going to mean must have in the MVP. All right. Next, we're going to have user registration and profiles, because we need to be able to manage our attendees, our speakers. I'm not sure if speaker management will be in the MVP, but all of our users organize with everybody. So that's going to be purple as well. So user registration. Next, we're going to need to have, what else? Probably some type of way for folks to be able to communicate with each other, like during the event, because you know how you have like the, oh shoot, you guys can't see any of it, can you? Wait, how do I do this? Okay, here we go. I gotta be able to use the touchpad. All right, it's better. User random profiles. So communication. So like chat or maybe DMs. Communication channels. All right. I don't like the way this looks, but I don't know why it would be on two different things. Why would they do me like that? Let's see. All right, boom. That's better. And you know, this, I think, would y'all think this will be like a nice to have, or you think this is like a requirement for launch on an event management platform? Sound off in the chat. Just like let me know how y'all feel about this. Like communication channels are, you know, DMs, chat, something like that, or both. Or and if we could live with one and not the other, like give me your opinion. But I'm gonna make it a nice to have right now, and we're gonna make this coral color nice to have, or orangish coral. Let's see what else. Of course, an event schedule, and we're gonna make that purple because that is important. Ooh, not the same. Ticketing. Ticketing is essential. So we are going to make that one purple as well. Oh, this is dark blue. I think it's purple. We'll call it purple. What else, you guys? What about analytics? Like, I think any event manager or event organizer would, at the very most basic level, would want to have a report that they could run that would show them how their event is doing, like how many people are registering, how many tickets have been purchased. I think that's a must. Basic reporting. We're not gonna like have a huge, you know, robust reporting dashboard and all of that jazz to start off with, but we'll go with basic reporting, and we'll make that purple. Okay. Next, we'll move this over here. These here. think in order to have people use it, it's got to have like some type of mobile. It's either got to be mobile responsive, or there might need to be a mobile app. Maybe the mobile app is a nice to have, but mobile responsiveness, mobile responsiveness, that is a must. And let's see. Some type of feedback mechanism is probably in order. We want to be able to get feedback from attendees, feedback from sponsors, feedback from anyone who attended the event in whatever way, speakers, however. That way, like, how else are we going to improve? So we're going to have some type of feedback mechanism, whether it be like a survey, or probably in the form of survey. That's like the most basic way to give feedback. And a resource hub. So if you want to have resources shared throughout the event. So I'm thinking like, so when I do talks, right, I generally have like a repository for resources. Maybe it's not like a GitHub repo, but maybe it could be like a landing page where I have links and stuff, and maybe a place to share all of that stuff, or for organizers to share resources with attendees, or maybe even make it available for speakers to share resources with their talk attendees, like that. That I think is at least a nice to have. I do think a mobile app would be great. I think that is a nice to have. Why this is so big. We may or may not get to that in 90 days, but it's funny because I've been wanting to play with .NET Maui for some time, so we'll see. We might be able to make something, at least something really simple happen in the 90-day period. Sound off in the chat if you've got like some things that you think would be great to add into our MVP. What about custom branding? That's something I have down here. Nice to. So we've got in a dark violet, we've got must-haves. In our coral orange color, we've got nice to haves. And in, let's make pink would be cool, may not happen this iteration. And we'll go with branding, custom branding. Speaker management. I think that would be a nice to have. It would be great if we could integrate with like a Sessionize or something for this. I don't know. We have to see if Sessionize has like an API to integrate with. Because we want to be able to like have our CFP open, and import speakers from Sessionize, and then within the platform, be able to like schedule the speakers how we want to. Yeah, that's kind of how I see it going. What else, you guys? I think we might be in a good place with this. Oh, well, I guess if we want to call out API integrations. So we want to make this something that we can like integrate with whatever. Delete. I'm gonna go through and delete all of these. And you know what? Is that gonna be a must-have, or is that gonna be a nice-to-have API integration? Let's see. If we go with, I'm gonna go with nice-to-have. I'm gonna go with nice-to-have. And I'm gonna get rid of all the rest of this stuff. And you know, folks, like this isn't the end all be all. I mean, we're gonna go with this for now. If something comes up between now and as we're building this thing, and this is like, oh my God, we can't live without it, then we add it. That's just how this whole thing works. So let's organize here. Oh no. Okay. Speaker management. Boom. All right. So there we go. That is what we're going to go with for our next Conf Pro MVP. That's going to be like our feature set for now. And I'll actually, I think I can share this. Okay. Shared. All right, folks. Let's do a little recap. Because some folks have joined since we started. And they're probably like, what the heck are you doing? If you are just tuning in, welcome. And we are doing day one of the 90-day MVP series for NextConf Pro. What is NextConf Pro? NextConf Pro is an event management application. So it's going to be for, specifically, we're using this for tech conferences. That's the target market, because I love tech conferences. I've got a special place in my heart for tech conferences and tech conference organizers. And I think it's really, good target market. And there are a couple of good apps out there to do event management. A lot of them are very expensive and not super comprehensive. So let's see if we can capture this market. One thing I did forget to put on here is sponsor management. And I think that is going to be a definite need, because how can you have events without sponsors? So let me backtrack. First and foremost, we are putting together a list of features that we're going to make available in our MVP. We're going to build. The bluish purple tabs are must-haves, and I am actually going to add, how do I duplicate this? Duplicate. I'm actually going to add one here, sponsor management. All right, so our must-haves to ship this MVP: event creation, user registration and profiles, our event schedule, basic reporting for our event organizers, mobile responsiveness, some type of feedback mechanism, some like sort of ticketing mechanism, the ticketing agent where we can, where folks can buy tickets, or we can make those available and people can buy them. And sponsor management. Now in orange or coral here, well, maybe this is more orange, who cares? We are doing our nice to haves. If we can put it into our MVP, that is communication channel, which is going to be like DMs or chat, speaker management, which I would say would be like a integration to Sessionize, if there's like a Sessionize API or something. A resource hub where either like speakers or organizers or whomever can share resources from the event or from talks to attendees. API integrations, and that's just basically making our open API. Well, you know what? This is actually probably going to be really easy to do. So let's put this as because we'll just use open API and make sure that our APIs are well documented. So, and then we will, we'll add that up here. And then a mobile app, like if I can, I've never used .NET MAUI before, not really, but maybe we can do something simple. And then custom branding is one that is kind of low on the list, but that is cool if we could do it. It won't change things if we can't. One other thing though, that kind of feels like a must-have if we're going to have sponsor management is some type of lead generation. And maybe it's not a must-have. Maybe it's a nice-to-have. But like, if you're going to have sponsors and you're going to have all the users of your event, all of the attendees of your event register into your platform, then we should be able to have a way for sponsors to either track people who maybe come to their booth, and or a sponsor could request for a fee or whatever, or maybe as a part of the sponsorship package, printout or a report containing all of the attendees' email addresses and so forth and so on. I know I kind of hate it when people like email me after the fact, but I think this is a really useful tool for sponsors of events and also the event organizers, so that you got a captive audience there and you want to be able to utilize that some type of way. So let's do lead generation. I think it's a nice to have. This looks like a pretty good list to get started. What do you all think? The chat got quiet. It's also the good. So yeah, let's figure out how we're actually going to build this thing. I'm using .NET. So I'm going to use a microservices architecture with this. Basically, all of these are going to be individual services, right? So that way, now in the long run, it's going to play dividends. It's going to take a little bit more time to build up front, and it's going to take a little bit more maintenance. But in a long run, it's going to pay dividends because we'll be able to easily make updates to different services within the app without updating the entire application. So we can quickly iterate on our features. Oh, and you know what? Since we have some of our nice to haves, if we do pull these things in, I am going to have a must have on here for feature flags. Duplicate. Because that way we can turn things on and off and make sure that, folks who have access to certain features. Oh, yeah, like we can do the way that they do in all these SaaS apps. You can have certain features with, tiered accounts and so forth and so on. But the main reason that I would like to use feature flags is so just in case we start working on some of these nice to have features and we don't finish them by the time our 90 days is up, we can just turn off the feature flag. And that'll make it easy. And we don't have to worry about, rebuilding and, like version, like all of our versions and stuff like that. So this is what we're going to go with, guys. And I shared the Miro board on the link to the Miro board in the chat. And anybody with a link can view. So if you have trouble viewing that, just let me know. And yeah, that's what we're doing right now. I'm going to take a short break and then we're going to come back and set up our folder structure. How does that sound? Sweet. And we're back. Hey, Eric, Bendall, what up? Thanks for joining. I am doing well. I hope you are as well. I did a AOC, like the first AOC Advent of Code stream that I did. It was with Eric, and we had a time. Happy to hear you, Kulo, Eric. Can't wait to collab with you in the future. Oh, you said you didn't see that I was on before you read it. That's okay. I'm gonna be on Wednesdays now, doing my 90-day MVP series. So next time, there's always a next time. And oh wow, 2.5 hours doing Copilot driven development. So like GitHub Copilot. Nice. I want to use GitHub Copilot in this as well because it just makes things a lot easier. Only thing is, I'm having trouble figuring out how to run GitHub Copilot in my VS Code for Mac, not VS Code, Visual Studio for Mac. And so what I think I'm going to end up doing is kind of switching between Visual Studio for Mac and VS Code. But I've got to get now I'm about to start with the folder structure. And I would like to do that with Visual Studio because that's how I like to. So I'm used to it. I feel kind of like handicapped when it comes to using VS Code. So like I can use it to actually write the codes, right? I can write the codes, but oh, GitHub Copilot chat is GA2. That's awesome. But I don't like setting up folders and like classes. It just seems so wonky using VS Code to get all of that set up. Because even when like I set up a new file, it doesn't set up as a class file. I don't know. Maybe we need to like figure out like how to make that work. I don't know how, but yeah, that's a challenge for me. I have C# dev kit for VS Code, but okay, well maybe let me try it out. I'm gonna just try it. And if it starts feeling like crazy, I'm just gonna go ahead and go back to Visual Studio. But I really do want to be able to use GitHub Copilot for some of this because, yeah. Oh yeah, let me go ahead and present my screen. So let's see, share screen. All right, so for those who are just now tuning in, you said you didn't forget you were on full space cam and talked about the code you were writing for 10 minutes. You didn't do it? I'm glad you did not do that. You're a pro at this streaming thing. I'm trying to get like you. All right, so look, let me recap. So, because since you just joined, all right. I know I told you like last time we were on live together that I was going to be rewriting C tracks. Well, I changed my mind, kind of pivoted. That's what founders do. We pivot. And instead of rewriting C tracks, I'm doing a whole new undertaking so we can like go through the entire project together. I felt like C tracks was kind of cheating because I already have full features, we have a fully featured product, and it's kind of like, you know, little proprietary and all that. But what we're doing here is a new application called NextConf Pro. And we're building the MVP in 90 days. And hold on, let me double check my music because it seems like it's kind of loud. All right. 90 days. No, let me tell you. Well, yes, it is very ambitious. Initially, the thought was 30-day MVP, and which is why I was like, oh, heck to no, this is not actually going to happen. But I'm not going to be streaming all 90 days of this. I'm actually going to be streaming weekly, and I'm going to do some things outside of the stream, right? And I'm going to be using some help from Copilot and other things too, so to try to streamline this process and make it quick. I think 90 days is pretty it's doable. You don't think? It's pretty ambitious, but I also have, it's funny because I also have a couple of talks that I have coming up. One for actually Orlando Code Camp, which is, I didn't mention that earlier, but Orlando Code Camp is coming up in February. And then I've got two for VS Live. And so I'm going to need to be able to use the project that I'm building for my talks. And we're using .NET. We're using .NET for the technology that we're building with. And we're going to, so user registration and profiles, I'm going to be using Auth0. I'm going to use some type of third-party tool for feature flagging. Not sure about that yet. Ticketing and like payments is going to probably be Stripe. Oh, so Blazor, MVC, WP. So I'm gonna be using MVC for the web app portion, and yeah, because I'm scared of Blazor. I'm gonna learn Blazor, but I'm scared of it for now. Because I'm doing a 90-day job, I really need to go with what I know, and that's MVC. But Blazor, maybe next go round. And I might, because see, I do have a mobile app here in my would be nice to have. So that would be like a companion app. It will be a mobile companion app. And that would possibly be Maui. Oh, Blazor is cozy. Once you've done enough of it, I haven't done enough of it to have it be second nature. I haven't done enough of it to be cozy at all, but I hear you. So what we're doing right now, so this is our MVP features. In the purplish blue are our must-have features, right? Event creation, user registration and profiles, our event schedule, basic reporting, feature flags, mobile responsiveness, some sort of feedback mechanism, ticketing, sponsor management, and API integration. Oh my goodness, I've seen this. And you know who else did something similar? Layla, one of her talks, instead of doing slides, she did it in, well, it might not have been Blazor, maybe it was. But yeah, Layla Porter, yep. Layla codes it, Layla. She did something similar, and I was just like, impressive. So, like, one of these days, I'm going to be that type of speaker. Like, oh yeah, basically my demo is my slides. So there. Yeah, she does. Like this, I think this may have been her .NET Conf presentation. I'm not really 100% sure. I know I saw it somewhere, and it was great. But yeah, I think that's the next iteration of speaker greatness is building your slides as your demo. I agree 100%. Layla is awesome. Shout out to Layla. All right. So, blue features are must-have features for our MVP. Orange, nice to have. This one here, maybe if we could fit it in. And we're giving ourselves 90 days. Folks, 90 days. So let's get started because we have no time to waste. I'm sure you can see my Visual Studio's VS Code setup here. And I'm gonna try. So I have the C# dev kit. I've got, obviously I have got that installed. And I am going to create a new project. And I know I can do this, but I just gotta figure out where. No. Because I want to create a new .NET project. Bah, here we go. And I want it to be an empty ASP.NET Core. And I am going to name it Next Conf Pro. Ooh. And why isn't it working? Is it already feeling like crazy to me? Yes, it already is. Oh, here we go. Next. Name the new project. So the way that I want to set up my folder structure, since I'm using microservices, I just have to do this. I'm just going to press enter because the way that I set up my folder structure, I don't want to have this in here right now. I want to delete this. Yes. And I want to, how do I open this in the Finder? The Viola Finder. Yeah, I do. I want to delete it. Move to trash. All right. So I'm adding a folder here because I want to have my front end, which this front end is going to be like the back office, like web app. Well, yeah, front end. Then I want to have another folder. And I want to name that folder Gateway, because in the beginning, we're going to, we're going to be able to use our gateway to communicate between services. Okay. So no, I don't want it to be in here. I want it to be in here. Integrations. And in our integrations folder, we will have, it's going to be like messaging, like the messaging between our microservices. And then, incorrect. This isn't so bad, using VS Code. Okay. See you later, Eric. And then we're going to have services. And then the services folder is where all of our endpoints are going to be. So all of our APIs. And from our Miro board, basically each of our features, most of our features are going to be their own separate API. So there's going to be a ticketing, and there's going to be a event API, and that type of thing. Let's bring back over our Miro board. I can find it. Yep, we'll have an event service, a user service, a reporting service, a ticket service, a sponsor service, maybe like a reporting service as well. I don't know. I have to figure that out, like whether reporting should be in its own service. Probably though. I mean, I think that might be a good idea. A sponsor service. Yep. So let's start with our most basic. With our most basic service, like our most basic function is going to need to be event creation or event management. So CRUD for events. So instead of having event creation on our Miro board here, I'm going to have event management. All right, so let's actually duplicate this, and we're going to bring this all the way down. Let's talk about the things we want to have in our event management service. I'm gonna say another sticky note, and this will have it be event management features. So what are we doing here? We're creating events. Create an event. We're going to update the event. We're going to view event details. We'll be able to delete events. Will we need to be able to view a list of events? Maybe. Let's see. View. Okay, this is all within the event management. Like, this is basic event management from what I can gather and deduce. All right, so let's go to, let's create a service, our first event service, or our first service, which will be the events service. And it'll be an API. So new. How can I create a project in here? Oh, let's see. Maybe I have to go back to, no. See, that's my question. How do I create a new project folder? And because essentially I need to create an API project in here. And this is the problem. Oh, wait, okay. So, new project. Oh, but how do I see? Okay. Remove this. Right, but I want to create the project in this folder here. New project. Now let's say this works, because I want it to be a web API. And I'm going to call this NextConf Pro dot services dot event API. Now where does it go? Oh, choose another directory. Okay. Now look at that. It works. Okay. So today I am learning how to use VS Code for .NET development. I mean, y'all learn something new every day. I love that for me. All right, 1 second, y'all. I've got to go to the bathroom. I will be right back. And yeah, I'm gonna go to the bathroom and actually maybe get myself some coffee, and then I'll be right back to start building out this event API. Cool? Cool. You guys, oh my goodness. I just checked my calendar, and this is not what I wanted it to be. But I just noticed that I have a meeting right now. So I'm going to end this stream, but I'm gonna come back on and finish this event API. But when I created this, my whole calendar for today after 12 was free. But now I have a meeting that popped up and I've got to go. And I am so sorry, but I will be back on and I'll let you guys know when I'm back on. Okay? All right. Bye. For now.